Paul, we're not far away from Cheltenham now. The juice is flowing. How are you feeling about everything in the build-up to the big week?
Yeah, looking forward to it. The horses have continued in great form since Christmas. Had plenty of winners. They're all looking good. Very happy.
Would you say it's a stronger squad this year than it has been perhaps in the last few campaigns for you?
Yeah, probably been a bit light the last few years. We've got a few nice horses to run this year. Probably run 15 or 16. Not as many as we always used to. You just got to run the right horses in the right races. You've got chances. I've learned that over the years. And this year I think we've got some nice chances.
Yeah, one of those could be Bravemansgame.
Yeah.
You're looking for another Gold Cup. In terms of your previous Gold Cup winners, how do you think he matches up to those?
Well, 2 of the 3 were King George winners, Seymour Business and Kauto, so that's a good time to start with. King George winners do go on and win Gold Cups. Yeah, he's a very smart horse. He's been progressive this year. Probably he's as mature now as he's ever been, and he's in a really good place. And it's like any Rome wasn't built on a day, and it takes a while to learn how to get the very best of them. And I think we're getting there with him. And I think he needs to be very fresh and very fit. That suits him nicely. So yeah, happy with him.
And I know over the last couple of weeks you've said that he's really strengthened up into his frame this year. Do you think that's going to stand him in good stead, tackling that 3 mile 2.5 trip for the first time?
Yeah, it's just he's just never been further than that for the reason that you don't till you get in that Gold Cup, and it was the same with Kauto before the first time. You won a King George, he'd never been 3.25 miles till he got to Cheltenham. You need a horse that can travel and jump around there. That's something he can do. It's unknown territory, isn't it? That last little bit for all of them, really. But I'm confident he will be fine. He's looked every bit of stale of late,
He's one of the finest jumpers of offence I've seen for a long time as well, which must be a very helpful thing as well.
Well, I think that helps, if you can jump and travel, you can save plenty of energy for later in the race. That is a big plus.
Let's talk about some of your novice hurdlers. Hermes Allen is currently favourite for the Ballymore, a horse who impressed a lot of people winning the Challow, and that form has worked out really well.
Yeah, that is good form. He's been very progressive all year. Obviously got a huge engine, competitive race as it always is, but he's in there with a leading chance.
He's a bit smaller than I thought he would be compared to some of your other novices, but he's very nimble, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very much in the mould of Silver Conti and Seymour Business. Not the biggest in the world, but quite strong. But that doesn't matter if he's got the right attitude. He jumps nicely, and yeah, he's fine.
He's a proper strong galloper as well.
Yeah, gallops all day. That's the thing. And he probably will get 3 miles. Well, he will get 3 miles in time without a shadow of doubt. But at the moment, 2.5 is probably far enough. I think. I don't see any point going any further at the moment, anyway. But yeah, he stays nicely at that trip.
The bookies would have him as your best chance of the week, or of the markets at least. Would you agree with that?
Right, just because he's favourite, you probably have to, But I think all those races are all open a whole lot. I said earlier, I think Bravemansgame's got as good a chance as anything. They're all hard races to win, including the Gold Cup and Ballymore and all those races. They're all hard races to win. Horses don't know what price they are.
Tahmuras going for the Supreme Novices hurdle. He's absolute giants of a horse. Couldn't be different looking really from Hermes Allen, could he?
Yeah. They're totally different horse altogether, but not quite as strong a type of horse as Hermes Allen. He's a lot slighter, narrower horse, but got plenty of ability. Unbeaten this year, like Hermes. Won his grade 1 at Christmas. On ground, it probably didn't suit him, but he nevertheless got away with it. Progressive horse, got a chance.
Do you think he would have the pace for a strongly run 2 miles jump?
Well, he'd probably be behind the bridle most of the way, but what he does do is stay on very strong. And both the winners I had of that race, Noland and Alfroth, were very much like him. They were staying chase of the future. Behind the bridle most of the way, particularly Nolan was going backwards coming down the hill, turned in the straight and took off and got up and won. So I'm sure he'll finish strong, which will be a help as long as he doesn't get behind. You don't want to be too far behind, but as long as you stay on strong up that hill, and you're close enough turning, you've got a chance.
Another really sizable novice is Away Fay. You said he had an outside chance a little bit earlier for the Albert Bartlett.
Yeah, look, he's better than probably what his form has shown so far. He was a bit unlucky the last day. It didn't happen quite right. But I think he's a progressive horse. Just lacks a bit of experience. He's only had the 2 runs over hurdles, which is a negative. But I'm sure he's a very nice horse and could run really well.
Of those 3 novices going chasing next year, which one would excite you the most, do you think?
I mean, all 3 of those are different. They all want to be different trips, really. 1 at 3, 1 at 2.5, 1 at 2. That proper horses to go novice chasing. That's why I'm as excited about the future for them as I am next week, to be honest with you.
And chases you currently got at the moment, one of those would be Stage Star.
Yeah.
Turn is likely to be the plan for him. He's a horse that keeps improving.
Yeah, we haven't sort of discussed it 100% with the team. It will depend a little bit on the ground. 2.5 would suit him very well if it was soft like it was on New Year's Day when he won. If it kept on drying or it was good ground, we might look at the 3 and see what the office is. And so I've got to make that a close call near the time when we see what the races are like. But he's a progressive horse, jumps nicely, won well at Cheltenham over Christmas on New Year's Day. So hopefully, he's got a chance.
Okay, Hitman got a chance as well for the Ryanair?
A chance, but if Shishkin turns up in the form he was at Ascot last week, she's going to be hard to beat. You know, we'll all be playing for places, in my view.
But dropping back to that trip should be a help.
I think that'll help him. I think, we learnt that at Newbury, probably 3 miles. Yeah, isn't quite what he wants.
One horse I've been very impressed with his progression this season is Ridoto. How much of a difference do you think those first-time cheek pieces made at Cheltenham?
Well, it made him win, didn't it? It was massively different because the time before and before that, he just went to the last and made a mistake or was looking around or whatever. He wasn't concentrating, threw the races away, whereas the other day he was sharp, jumping, galloped really strong to the line. So he's progressive, yeah.
Would he be your best handicap chance, do you think?
Because handicaps are hard to win. There's a few with chances. Yeah, he went up £8 for winning the day, so I'd hardly say he's really well handicapped now, but if he's progressive, then he's got a chance. I think him and Irish Hill are progressive young horses. It could just still have improvement in them.
That brings us on nicely to Irish Hill. I was at Fakenham day one there. I was quite impressed, even more so last time at Ascot. He's really going the right way.
He is really progressive horse, and he won nicely the other day. I hope to run him in the Coral Cup if he gets in. If not, he'll have to switch to the Martin Pike, but he's a progressive handicapper.
And Red Risk, unlucky in the Lanzarote.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot to mention him today. He'd be very nearly top weight. I can't believe he ran as well as he did both. I didn't think he'd win at Newbury, and he did, and he even surprised me more in the Lanzarote. He got beat at short head. I'm not convinced he won the ground too fast, but he's got a chance. The biggest problem we've got now is Freddie Ginger, who rode him in the Lanzarote, he's got a broken collarbone. I'm not sure whether he'll be back in time because it'd be nice to took 7 off again, so we'll see.
Okay, 300-5, Ultima. Not likely to go to the Grand National though this season.
Well, we haven't made a definite call on that. We'll just see how he runs at Cheltenham. My opinion is it might be a year too soon. If he won at Cheltenham, we might review that. Obviously, the Ultima is sponsored by his owner, Max McNeil, or was involved with Ultima, and he'd dearly love to win that race. I still think he's £4 or £5 too high, but hopefully he's won at Cheltenham before he can go there and give a good account of himself.
One of your flagship horses of the past few years has been Greaneteen, a horse who perhaps hasn't been in the form of his life in the last couple of starts, but he's got that innate ability to have a chance in a race like the Champion Chase.
Yeah, it's just catching him right. He was ready to win the Horden Gold Cup, which he did nice. He ran second in the Tingle Creek. I don't think he ran quite his race that day, and he ran okay at Newbury, about the same as he did 2 years ago. Probably didn't work out, but I wouldn't surprise me if he ran very well at Cheltenham.
And you said earlier one of your best chances could be Secret Investor in the Hunter Chase.
Yeah, he's got to be one of our best chances. He's fairly short price. He's unbeaten in 200 chases and he's back in grade for him. So I'd like to think he's got a lovely chance too.
And Captain Teague, what kind of a chance would you give him the bumper?
Not trained him, particularly hard. He's a progressive horse for next season. I'd have gone to Newbury with him 2 weeks ago, but hadn't been so fast to ground, and it's about the only race we have to run him. We're doing good experience-wise. If he finished 5th or 6th, I'd be absolutely delighted. Lovely prospect for next season.
And just a word on those horses who are bypassing Cheltenham for Aintree. Who might those be?
Well, he'll Rabode, who won on the weekend. Rare Middleton will go there. Solo will go there. So horses like that will be going. Clandesabo. Aintree suits some horses more so than Cheltenham, and the ones on the weekend had hard races. They like flat tracks. They don't really want to go to Cheltenham. So we'll have a strong team at Aintree as we normally do.
A plan for Pic D'Orhy?
Aintree, he's going there. He had a hard race the other day. He knew he had a race the other day, and he's had a busy old season. There's no way he'd have run at Cheltenham. That's the only thing you got to think about Shishkin as well. Like, he had a hard race the other day, and Cheltenham comes sooner enough from Ascot. I remember we won that race with Kauto, and then he ran second to Denman in the Gold Cup, and he didn't run his race that day. And I think that race, if you have a hard race at Ascot, that's getting close enough to Cheltenham in my view. So Pic D'Orhy's having an easy 2 weeks, and we'll get him ready for Aintree.
Do you think Trials Day at Cheltenham is the perfect time gap in between, because you have obviously stage down Ridoto?
It all depends on the horse. That does give you plenty of time. Some years the ground can be absolutely horrendous, and it is probably not a good thing. Some horses don't need a prep run. It just depends really. It all depends on the horse.
And just going back to Bravemansgame, the Gold Cup, how special would it be for you and the team to win another Gold Cup?
It'd be fantastic. I think the record of trainers is 5 in a Gold Cup. It'd be nice to get that 5th one. But just that's why we do it, is try and produce horses you get to run in Gold Cups, and have one like him, with a lovely chance is brilliant. Can't wait.
Do you think he's been underestimated slightly? People saying he's a flat track bully.
I can't say you can say that. He's one. It's just when you're going for King George's and the races he's run, it happened to be on flat tracks. He ran very well in the Ballymore as a 6-year-old. Travelled well. The track wasn't a problem. He won't be a problem. They said that about Kauto till he won 2 Gold Cups.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.